Norway, a land of dramatic landscapes and remarkable geopolitical significance, serves as a case study in leveraging geographic and resource advantages for national prosperity. Despite being a sparsely populated nation with a challenging topography, Norway has emerged as a global leader in renewable energy, oil and gas exports, and strategic minerals. Its journey from a nation reliant on maritime trade and forestry to a modern economic powerhouse is a testament to strategic foresight and astute resource management. Norway's geographic profile is marked by contrasts. It is a vast landmass of approximately 385,000 square kilometers, yet home to a mere 5.2 million people. This gives it one of the lowest population densities in Europe. The country's rugged mountains, jagged fjords, and Arctic conditions create a harsh environment for agriculture, with only 2.2% of its land arable. Despite these constraints, Norway's geography has historically been a double-edged sword. While its rugged terrain hindered inland connectivity and agricultural development, it simultaneously fostered a maritime culture. The fjords, extending deep into the interior, acted as natural highways, facilitating trade and interaction with global markets. This maritime advantage laid the foundation for Norway's early economic activities, particularly forestry and shipbuilding. Norway's extensive coastline, one of the longest in the world, has been central to its economic identity. The jagged fjords provided access to forests that fueled its lumber industry, which dominated Europe during the pre-railroad era. The waterways allowed efficient transportation of logs to sawmills and ports for export. The cooperative nature of Norwegian communities, shaped by shared ownership of resources, prevented the rise of powerful capitalist classes as seen in other nations. This egalitarian approach not only fostered economic resilience but also established a cultural ethos of collaboration that persists today. By the early 20th century, Norway transitioned into a modern industrial state driven by its abundant hydropower resources. The steep rivers cascading down the mountainous terrain provided an unparalleled source of kinetic energy. Norway's hydropower potential was further amplified by consistent precipitation brought by westerly winds. Between 1905 and 1938, the construction of hydroelectric dams revolutionized Norway's economy, enabling it to industrialize and electrify rapidly. By 1920, Norway was consuming more electricity per capita than any other nation, marking it as a pioneer in renewable energy. This strategic harnessing of natural resources laid the groundwork for Norway's industrial strength in aluminum production, spearheaded by companies like Norsk Hydro. Contrary to popular belief, Norway's prosperity did not begin with oil. By the mid-20th century, the nation already enjoyed high GDP per capita and was considered one of Europe's wealthiest countries. The discovery of the Ekofisk oil field in 1969, however, accelerated its economic trajectory. Applying lessons from its hydroelectric development, Norway established pragmatic policies for its oil and gas industry. The creation of Statoil, now Equinor, a state-owned company, ensured that the benefits of resource extraction were retained within the country. Norway mandated that foreign investors operate under joint ventures with majority Norwegian ownership, a move that preserved national control while acquiring global expertise. Recognizing the volatility of oil prices, Norway established the Government Pension Fund Global in 1990. Commonly known as the Oil Fund, it is the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world, valued at over $1.2 trillion. Strict rules ensure that no more than 3% of the fund's assets are withdrawn annually, safeguarding wealth for future generations. Today, the fund owns 1.5% of all publicly traded companies worldwide, exemplifying Norway's commitment to long-term financial security. Norway's renewable energy sector complements its oil and gas exports. Hydropower accounts for 95% of its electricity needs, and wind energy potential is being rapidly developed. By prioritizing renewables for domestic consumption, Norway frees up its fossil fuel resources for export, a strategy that maximizes economic gains while reducing domestic carbon emissions. The adoption of electric vehicles, or EVs, is another cornerstone of Norway's green strategy. In 2022, EVs accounted for 88% of new car sales, supported by tax incentives and a robust charging infrastructure. This initiative not only aligns with global sustainability goals, but also reinforces Norway's energy independence. The 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine highlighted Norway's strategic importance. As the European Union sought alternatives to Russian energy, Norway stepped up as the bloc's largest supplier of oil and gas. By expanding its pipeline infrastructure and LNG exports, Norway has become indispensable to Europe's energy landscape. The sabotage of Russia's Nord Stream pipelines in 2022 symbolized the shifting dynamics in European energy dependency. The simultaneous inauguration of Norway's Baltic Pipe underscored its role as a reliable partner in the region's energy transition. Norway's discovery of the world's largest phosphate reserve in 2023 has further solidified its resource dominance. Phosphate is critical for agriculture and technology, and this find has disrupted the global supply chain previously dominated by Morocco and China. Additionally, Norway's deposits of titanium and vanadium offer strategic alternatives to China's near monopoly on rare earth minerals. Longest coastline in Europe. Norway's jagged coastline, interspersed with fjords, is over 6 times longer than the United Kingdom's. Electric vehicle leader. Norway has the highest EV adoption rate globally, with nearly 1/3 of vehicles on its roads being electric. World's largest sovereign wealth fund. The oil fund is so massive that it equates to approximately $275,000 for every Norwegian citizen. Hydropower dominance. Norway generates 95% of its electricity from hydropower, making it a global leader in renewable energy. Norway's strategic management of its resources has elevated it to a position of unparalleled influence. Its energy exports are reshaping European markets, while its mineral wealth is poised to challenge global supply chains dominated by autocratic states. Moreover, Norway's egalitarian and democratic institutions provide a model for other resource-rich nations. By prioritizing long-term planning over short-term gains, Norway has avoided the pitfalls of corruption and authoritarianism that plague many petrostates. Norway's geopolitical journey underscores the interplay of geography, resources, and policy. From harnessing fjords to exporting energy and rare earths, Norway's strategic foresight has transformed it into a global powerhouse. As the world grapples with energy transitions and supply chain disruptions, Norway's model offers valuable lessons in balancing resource wealth with sustainability and equity.